Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Danny. I will be your software specialist by today, and we'll be giving the Aladdin demo on how to use the CMS software and what are the things that you can do and features that is available in this software itself. Okay, so the first thing is, what is Aladdin and who is SGE? So SGE is a multidisciplinary company which is composed of multiple companies itself with doing inspection, land development, and software development. Okay, and in terms of software development, we are having Aladdin CMMS software, which gives you the historical data of your, or keeps the historical data of your maintenance in terms of your assets. Okay. So the first thing that I want to tell, as I said, I'm Danny. How are you? Good morning. And Mr. Samir, Miss Tina, Miss Farial. So good morning. If any of you have some issue in terms of the voice and video, just please message me in the chat, which you can see in your. I'll just message. So I just send a message in that specific chat features of our webinar portal. So if any issue that you face in terms of technicality, just please inform me right away in this part. Okay. So before I start the training or the Aladdin demo of CMMS software, just one. So everyone can hear me. Everyone can see my video. Mr. Samir, Miss Farial, Miss Sina. Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. Is the voice and the video is clear before I start the demo? Can anyone hear me? Mr. Samir, Miss Farial, Miss Sina? Is everything from your end is very clear? Okay, great. So so you put it in the question tab. Okay, I'm putting it in the chat box, but it's fine. So everyone can hear. There's no video, Ms. Farial. Only screening is working. Okay, that's fine. Yes, okay, great. So I'm really sorry. I checked the chat box. I didn't check the question. So you putting okay. Anyway, anywhere it's fine. If you want to put it in the question screen or you want to put it in the chat screen, it's fine. Okay. So I'll start now the demo itself. So first thing is, as I said, what is a CMMS software? CMMS software, there's a lot of terminology in the market right now, how we distinguish a maintenance management software. First thing is CMMS is a computerized maintenance management software. Other people call it as ALM, Asset Lifecycle Management Software. Other is EAM, Enterprise Asset Management Software. So all of these things are all the same. So the core information or the core definition of a CMMS software is to keep your historical data of your assets in terms of maintenance and tracking. So when I've said historical data, it's not only about the maintenance, it gives also the information of your equipment, how much the total maintenance costs, how utilized your equipment is, and not only about your equipment, but also the things that incorporated with the maintenance, which are the spare parts or the inventory item or consumables, and the people who maintain all your equipments, which are what we call the personnel. Personnel can be an outsource, it can be your in-house crew or technician. Okay, so all these things or all these parameters needs to be tracked inside the software. So the first thing that you will have once we have a once you use the Aladdin CMMS software is you will have your own dedicated Aladdin application. What I'm saying is you will have your own database, which keeps separated from our other clients. Okay, so means your data will be private, and we are hosting this one in the one of the most secure cloud server, which is Microsoft Azure. Okay, so first thing, what is Aladdin? What do we have in Aladdin? In terms of what is Aladdin, we have two applications. As I said, everything is in cloud. We have a web application, which you can see right now in the screen, and we have a mobile application, which is this one. So right now I'm mirroring my mobile, which shows you the mobile application. So as you can see, I have two mobile applications, one for an Aladdin main users, and another one is for the requesters, which I will discuss detailedly later on. Okay, so all the question before I start the demo, all the question will be answered after the demo, so that we can just continue and smooth flow on how and what are the features that we have in Aladdin software. Okay, so as I said, CMMS software or Aladdin CMMS software composed of two applications. It's a web application, which is for the main users, which they have also an access in the mobile application. And the other part is the mobile application that can be given to multiple personnel in terms of the in-house crew, the requester, which is the one who's sending the complaints, and the managers who's managing all the requests through their phone. So they can manage it from mobile, they can manage it from web. Okay, so those are the two parts of the Aladdin CMMS software. Now, the first thing that you will have is the login page. So once you have the login page, just clicking this login button, as I said, you will have your own dedicated website for each of the company that you have. Okay, so means if I have an SGE, what I will have is aladdin.sge.azurewebsite.net. Now question, Danny, can we change it? Can we change the link? Yes, we can change the link as per what you want. If you want to use your own link, we can just give us that domain and we can just reuse it there. Okay, so now in the login page, the first thing that you will have is the company, your username and password, and just sign in. That's it. How many company you can create? You can have multiple company under this one. Okay, so the only thing that we have is the number of users that needs to be discussed. Okay, so first thing, how many type of users do we have in our Aladdin software? So I'll just make it a summary. Okay, first, we have 4 types of user in our software. Okay, what are those users? First is what we call the super admin account. The super admin account is the one who controls all the permission of the user. Means it's the IT job. Example, Miss Farial, I just want you to have this specific module and with this permission. Okay, so that is the job of the super admin account. Okay, the second user type is what we call a normal administrator. A normal administrator is the one who has an access in the main modules of a CMMS software. Okay, which are the main modules? I will be showing it to you later on. Okay, so these main modules, it can be a manager, it can a main administrator can be a manager, it can be a storekeeper, it can be a coordinator, assistant manager, or all these kind of things. But who will control their user permission? It will be the super admin. Okay, the third user type is what we call a crew mobile. Okay, so means there's a crew or technician on site who needs to have an access inside the software, but what they will have only is only access in the mobile application. Okay, to give you the detailed explanation about that one, I'll be showing it to you in terms of software features. Okay, the third or the fourth one is will be the requester. The requester are the one who's sending the complaints or the work requests. Okay, so they are sending the work request and that needs to be managed by the administrator and given to the crew. The full workflow of reactive maintenance and PPM will be discussed as later stage. Okay, as I said, the first thing that you will have is the login page. Once you have the login username and password, which will be set by the super admin account, then the first screen that you will see is in this screen. Okay, so there will be, after you log in, you put your username and password. Now you will see the main Aladdin modules. So there are 3 parts in this user interface. The first one is what we call the sidebar. Okay, so the sidebar contains all the information. You can only see, okay, that's fine. Okay, sorry. So as I said, the sidebar contains all the modules of Aladdin. What are these modules? Dashboard, work order, PPM, scheduling, asset, personal inventory reports, and help button. Okay, is this all the modules of Aladdin? No, this is only the basic modules of Aladdin, and we have another modules which is what we call an advanced module in terms of contract management, which I will just show you a glimpse, but I will not discuss it detailedly. Okay, so the first thing, as I said, is you will have the sidebar that contains all the modules. You will have the detail page which contains what are the things in that specific module, and you will have the user information page or section, which you can see at the upper right corner of the screen. So you can see that person. If you just click that one, you have the capability to edit your profile, to change your password or log out. Okay, so from here you have the Aladdin user interface structure. Okay, so as I said, we have multiple modules, and we have a basic modules which you can see right now in the screen, and we have an advanced modules. Danny, I need to see the advanced modules. As said, this is the advanced module that we have. Okay, so the advanced modules, you can see I have more modules than what I showed you a while ago. You can see from here that we will have a client module, we will have KPI module, and contract management module. As I said, the advanced module contains more on the contract management side. Okay, but what are the demo that I will be giving today is only about the basic modules, which contains more on the maintenance point of view in terms of doing your reactive or day-to-day maintenance, reactive maintenance, PPM maintenance, and any maintenance that you have. Okay, so first thing is I created a small PowerPoint presentation just to make sure that we can see and we can familiarize ourselves in terms of Aladdin modules. What are these group modules all about? Okay, so as you can see, these are the basic modules that we have. I just grouped this one, how we can implement the software in the right way and the easy way. As you know, the first group module that we have is what we call the data modules. The data modules contains the asset module, inventory module, personnel module. As you know, that there will be no software that will work without any master data. In other terms, data modules are the master data. I'll give you an example. Accounting software will not work without chart of account. Okay, so means the first thing that we need to add as a master data of an accounting software is the chart of account. Same in the CRM software, a customer relationship management, you need the customer list so that you can start working with that CRM software. It's the same with Aladdin CMMS software. We need to add all the data modules or the master data so that we can start using the CMMS software. Okay, so first is the asset module, which contain all the equipments, all the machineries that we need to track inside the software. The second one is the inventory module. The inventory module contains all the spare parts, consumables, and any other inventory item or service that you are using to maintain those equipments, okay, or the assets. The third data module, which is the personnel module. The personnel module contains all the people, or even it will be an outsource or in-house people or personnel that will do or that will work on your maintenance tasks. Okay, so these are the three core information that we need to have so that we can start using the CMMS software. Once we have all these modules, now we can go to the operation and maintenance modules group. Okay, so in operational or O&M modules group, we have two parts, as we can say. Okay, one is for how to handle an unplanned maintenance, which is reactive maintenance, corrective maintenance, emergency breakdown, and all this kind of unplanned maintenance. Is we have two modules that is concerned about that one: the work request module and the work order module. Okay, now we have a separate part which is for planned maintenance, which is the PPM. The planned preventative maintenance module contains all the tasks that we need to do as for the recurring maintenance. Okay, then once we have all the maintenance work order or the work tasks, now we can now go to our scheduling module that contains all that gives us the feature to manage our work order in an efficient way. If you have a big group or if you have a big team, how many work order, average work order that you will have. You want to see who's available on that specific day, time, etc. Then you will use the scheduling module. How to use it? I will be showing it to you in later stage. Okay. The third group, which is the reporting module. The reporting module is just showing you what you have inputted in the software. Okay. Just an example, what are the content, what are the modules that in the reporting module itself is the dashboard and the report module. The dashboard module, which is the one that you saw a while ago, the first screen that you will see in the software once you log in, is the dashboard module. The dashboard module gives you immediate information that you can say that what's happening in my software right now, what's happening in my maintenance, how much I utilize my team, how much work order that's still pending and on hold. Those kind of information from one glimpse, it will be in your dashboard module. Okay, so means dashboard module gives you an immediate information that you don't need to go in other modules just to know that information itself. Okay, the next one is the report module. The report module contains a raw data. Okay, what I mean is everything that you input in the software should have an output. Example, I need to know how much my maintenance costs for each of the equipment. Then I need that one to be given to my management, and I need that one in Excel file. Now you have the report module to do all those kind of things. How to do it, I'll discuss again later stage. Okay, so these are the things or the modules that contains in our reporting modules. The last group module is what we call the support module, which contains only the manuals. If you forgot one specific item or specific feature of the Aladdin software, you can just go to our help module that contains all the manuals of mobile application and web application, and you can just read it from there, that part. Okay, so these are the basic modules that we have inside the software. As I said, why I'm skip using the word basic is we have the advanced module that contains the contract management, which controls your client and your subcontractor contracts. Okay, I'll give a small definition about that or a small description about that one later stage after we discuss the basic modules. Okay, and okay, now I gave you what are the groups and how we can implement this one in your company itself. So the first thing, as I said, is once you log in, you need to add all the master data. What are those master data? As we can start with the asset module. Again, what is the asset module? Asset module contains contains all your equipment, all your machineries that needs to be tracked and maintained inside the software. Okay, I just created a few examples like condenser unit, smart TV, iPhone X, chiller, compressor. So all this kind of example, how to add it. Okay, so the first thing that we need to know is what are the permission that the super admin can give to each user. Okay, so the super admin can give 4 level of permission. What are those 4 level of permission? Is I can give a specific user the add option, view option, edit option, and delete option. Means in every module, in every tab and features that you can see inside the software, you have that 4 level of permission that can be controlled. By what? By what user? By the super admin user. Okay, so just an example, I have my asset list here as a tab. As part of my asset module, I have asset list, asset transfer, reconciliation, sales disposal, auto generate of the assets. Okay, I have these 5 tabs, and each tab I can give a specific user the level of permission that they need. Example, in asset list, I will give only Mr. Danny add option. So means I will have an add option, but I cannot view the information. I will see the list, but I cannot view the information inside. Maybe I can only give add option and view, edit, but without delete. So means delete option will not be available from my side. So those kind of permission, as I said, in all the features that we have 4 level permission: add, view, edit, and delete. Okay, so now we can now continue with the asset list. So as I said, in the asset list, how did we what are the things that contains in this one is our equipment, machineries that needs to be maintained and tracked. Okay, first thing is how to add an asset in our Aladdin software. Okay, How to add an asset can be done in two ways. Add it as one by one or add it in bulk. So we have an add option button here and an upload data file from here. Okay, so means I can add it in one by one, and I can even add it in bulk like 30,000 or 50,000. But the most important question is, Danny, how many assets I can add in Aladdin software? You can add unlimited number of assets. So means we are not restricting any amount of data that you can add inside the software. The next question is, it will affect my software if I add 100 or 200,000 of assets? No. We optimize the software and make sure that even though you add million of assets, it will not slow down the software, and it will keep the same performance that we will be giving you in the initial stage. Okay, so that's it. Now, Danny, how to add an asset is just by clicking this add option, and it will go to the tabs where you can add the information for each of the equipment. Now you can see 6 tabs which contains the asset info, the documents, meters, purchase info, custody, and custom fields. So what are these tabs? First thing is the asset info, which contains the basic information of the asset. Documents contains the necessary documents of your specific equipment. The meters, if you have some meter reading that needs to be tracked. Purchase info is what are the purchase information that you will have. Custody, which is the accountability in terms of who's using it right now and who's accountable in maintaining it. Custom fields are the pre-custom fields. If you have additional information that needs to be tracked, you can have in the custom fields. Okay, so as I said, first we need to discuss the asset info. The asset info contains the basic information such as the asset number. Sometimes they call it asset code. Okay, so this is the unique code or unique number for each of the equipment, even though your equipment has the same type. Just an example, a chiller. You have 10 chiller, you have 3 chillers in that building. So means for each chiller, you will have different asset number or asset code. So from here, I can just put 1, 2, 3, and it will automatically generate an tag. Means a QR code that reflects the asset code. Okay. Why we are creating this QR code? Because we are giving the client or the users to have the capability in ours using our software to do their own asset tagging. Means once you add all your equipment inside the software, you have the capability to extract a tag from the software itself. How to do it? I'll be showing it to you later stage. Okay, so just an example, I have my asset name. I'll put a chiller. Let's say I'll just change this one, CH0001. Then I can have a parent asset. Means we are also allowing you to have a hierarchy of sub asset and a parent asset itself. Okay, so location will be there. Just an example, I will be in Dubai Marina building. Then first floor, office 101, or it should be in the rooftop. Then I have my category. Then what is this? HVAC system. So every time that you can see this plus black button, it means that it's a user-defined value which you can create your own value itself. Means we are giving the flexibility to the user so that they can create their own data sets. Okay, means in the location, how you want to name it, the category, how you want to name it, and how many information I can put. Again, it's unlimited. Okay, so from here, it's not only by location field that you can track your asset. You can also mark it in the location map. So you just click that one and search it, maybe longitude. Then you can just put like this. Then you have the longitude, latitude. Then click OK. This one will reflect also in the mobile application. If you have a big site, if you have a multiple location that you are managing, so your team on site or on like just an example, you have a big maintenance team outside Dubai, outside Sharjah. Just to give them exact location, you can have this kind of specific location map inside the software that can be linked in the asset. Okay, so from here I can just close, I can just click OK. Then I have also the status. If the status is active or in use, what we call, disposed, lost, for repair, or it's an idle asset, you can have all these things. Okay, so you have the small description, model number, serial number, responsibility of the PM, the property management, or an FM. How critical is this asset? Is it critical, moderate? So all those kind of things. Okay, so from here, this is only the basic information of the equipment. Now the question, Danny, do I need to fill all those information such as asset info, documents, meters, all this information just to create an asset? No. You only need to fill the basic information, which is the asset info tab. And in asset info, not all the fields need to be is required. You just need to have or fill the mandatory, which is, you can see there's a red asterisk beside it. Okay, so those are the mandatory information, and once you fill it, automatically you will have an asset. Okay, now you have the documents also. So the documents, you can have your warranty, you can have your manual for that specific equipment, you can have your PO, quotation, all the things that is related to that equipment itself. Then what is my advantage of having my document is, first, you can track your documents, and you will have a you will have your storage in terms of your documents alone. Then can I access this one in mobile application? Yes, you can also access these documents from mobile application. You can download it from your phone and view those information. But the best thing here in this document tab is we have a type of warranty. What is the document type? Warranty document type help us to track the expiry date of the warranty itself. So means when you are creating the maintenance or the reactive maintenance or a PPM for that specific equipment, our software gives you a notification that this equipment is still under warranty. Do you want to continue doing this maintenance work for this specific equipment? Yes or no? So though that kind of notification will be given to the user once they selected an asset that is under warranty. The only requirement, add the warranty information inside the software. So that's it. So means you can add unlimited number of assets. You can add unlimited number of document type. As you can see, there's a plus black button from here. So you can add anything in that part, and you can just upload anything. Minimum of 10 MB per file. Can I add unlimited number of file? Yes, you can add unlimited number of file. Just make sure that the file size will be minimum 10 MB. Okay. So what maximum 10 MB? Sorry. So these are the things, as I said, you can add a limited number of documents per asset. Okay. Now you have the meters also. If you will have a meter reading, if you have a predictive maintenance that needs to be tracked, just an example for the dB, for how many kilowatts that you have, for the car, give an example, for the running kilometers. So all those kind of meters you can also enter in our software, and it will also automatically generate a work meter task, or what I mean, a meter reading task in their mobile application if they need to check what is the current meter of that specific asset and then that meter. Okay, so this is the use of the meter tab. Purchase info is just a normal information in terms of purchasing. As I said, we have a maintenance. This is a CMMS, which is a maintenance management software. But why we have a purchase info tab? Because it will also help the user to create their own decision in terms of when it was purchased, where we have purchased this one, what is the supplier, what is the manufacturer of this. So all this kind of information will be available in the purchase info tab. Okay, so you can see acquisition date, when is the service start date, the useful life for this one, the salvage value if you set. I know that it's part of the accounting, but if the maintenance team or the maintenance manager require this information to create a good decision or a wise decision for their equipment, they can just store it from here. Okay, then I can have also the custody. As I said, what is the custody? Custody contains all the information, who's accountable on that specific asset. Okay, so means if it's an iPhone, if it's a laptop that you're storing here, you can just put the custodian, and yep, it will be automatically tracked what date of assigned and when is the date they return the equipment. Okay, then the custom field, as I said, that there will be a 10 custom field. If you are not, or do you need a specific information to be tracked to that specific equipment, then you can have this custom field, which you can change the name of the field. Just manage custom field. I change this one to nature. or texture, or even I can want weight. Save it. Then you will have two fields. What is the texture? What is the weight? 50 kilograms. So those kind of things. Okay. So means all the information that you require or very critical for you to track will be stored in the asset information tab. Okay. So means everything, even custom fields, asset details, everything, it can be stored in Aladdin modules. Okay. So now this is how just to create an asset. As I said, there's a 4-level permission that we have in each modules of the software, which is add, view, edit, delete. And with this permission, we will be doing the demo in this flow. Okay, so means I just showed you how to add in one by one. What are the information that you can add per asset? Then how to add it in bulk? Just the same thing. We will be giving you the standard Excel sheet, which we can help you also to import, and you can just click upload data file just by 2 clicks. 10,000, 30,000, 50,000, or 100,000 of assets, you can upload it in one time. Okay, so now after I add an equipment, as I said a while ago, we are giving you the capability to do your own asset tagging. Okay, just an example, I want to do my asset tagging for my condenser unit in the rooftop. Then you can just, let's say this is your condenser unit. I want only specific asset. So means I can filter, I can extract the QR code using the QR code button beside the add option, generate the asset QR code, and download the file. Once you downloaded the file, it will give you a PDF file which you can, that contains the tags. Danny, can I change the design? Yes, you have the option to change the design in the super admin account. Okay, so from here you can create your own asset tag, buy your own special printer for tag printing. Then that's it. You can print the tags. Then voila, you can start your own asset tagging now. Okay, so this is only the small feature that we have, or one critical feature that you can use inside the software. What I'm showing you right now is only the top level features that you can use inside the software, and I will be discussing some of the features in the top level view. Okay, so okay, let's just continue. In the asset list, as I said, we have 4-level permission on all the modules: add, view, edit, and delete. Now we already showed you how to add. How can I view it? Just clicking the name and you can view the information. Okay, from here there will be additional tabs which is containing the sub asset, work order history, spare part. Because now when you are viewing, you are checking all the information related to that asset. So means I can see any work order history, what are the spare parts that are consumed for this specific equipment, and if there's some sub assets, I can also see it from here. Okay, so those are the tabs that have been added. Okay, so also will be here, but I think this is more on the accounting side. Okay, so now we have the asset module. I showed you already how to add, how to view, and then how to edit. It's the same thing. If just clicking by the name, if you have an edit permission, it will automatically go in edit mode. If you have only view option and you don't have edit permission, it will only show you the information, but you cannot modify any information on that specific asset. Okay, now Danny, we can go now to the last level permission, which is the delete option. Okay, so we already discussed how to add, how to view, how to edit. Now how to delete. How to delete, we'll just go to the list. At the right side you will see the delete option. This delete option will be available if you have the permission, and I can click the delete option. Are you sure you want to delete? Okay, but the software will not allow any user to delete any asset if that asset has an history already. The asset can be disposed but cannot be deleted if there's a history already. Okay, so means this is an additional security from our side so that no one can play with the software. Okay, so in terms of the asset, as you know, asset is the most important thing, and we are not allowing them to delete any historical data that is connected to the equipment itself. Okay, then what is the use of the delete option? Maybe you mistakenly created one asset or uploaded 5 assets that is you don't require. So you can just delete all those assets immediately because there's no history of maintenance on that specific equipment or asset. Okay, now I already showed you how to add, how to view, how to edit, and how to delete. As I said, this is the 4 levels of permission that you will find in each tab or each module that we have. Now we can move on in the asset transfer. So in the asset transfer, you can see from here that in the asset module, you have 5 tabs. One is the asset list, is the major information that you need to add. Now you can do the asset transfer once you already added the list of equipments or machinery that you have. So as you can see from here, I don't have any add option. So means I change the permission and remove the add option in this specific user. So now I'm just using this tab to show you how the permission level will work if I restrict a specific user. Okay, I can view, I can edit, but I cannot add any transfer task. Then what is asset transfer first? Asset transfer is used if you want to transfer or track one of the equipment location, one location to another location, one custody from another custodian. So means all the location from one place to another place. If your industry is a hospital or any other industry that you have frequently move your equipment, you can use the asset transfer from our software, which you can track where it will, from what location it came, from what location it will go. Okay, so all this kind of information. As I said, for this kind of features, I will be giving only the top level view. I will not detailedly discuss all of them. Okay, so reconciliation, what is the use of the reconciliation? Reconciliation is for checking what you have on your software and what you have on site. Is it connected to the mobile application, Danny? Yes, it's connected to the mobile application. And what it's used for is you're checking, let's say you have 100 assets on that specific room as per your list. Then you want to check it if it's really 100 assets was available there. Then you can create your reconciliation, assign it to someone, then they will check if there's some 100 assets there. Okay, if you apply the tagging or the QR code is applied, then they have the capability just to scan the asset tags, and they will see, okay, this is reconciled. And specifically, if there's some discrepancy or there's some missing assets, automatically it will show in the report that you can see from here. Just an example, I have 7 assets, 6 assets is reconciled, 1 is discrepancy. Means I will see in this one, I can click, and out of the 6, I have only missing 1. So those kind of information. Okay, so I have pending, manual check, and all those kind of things. Okay, so the third one is the sales and disposal. So before I move to the sales and disposal, as I said, reconciliation, it will really help you to know what you have on site, and it will help your accounts to do the depreciation in the right way, because it will be a lot of impact if they still keep depreciating for those assets that are missing or lost by your employees. Okay, so this will really help your finance to do their actual depreciation of what is the actual asset that you have on site. Okay, now the next one is the sales and disposal. Sales and disposal, these are the things that you just need to have in the software that you need to track in terms of when I dispose it, what is the reason I dispose that asset? Is it damaged, or is it already fully depreciated, or my maintenance cost is higher than the salvage value, or the maintenance cost is higher than the unit cost of that specific equipment? All those kind of information can be tracked before you dispose an asset. Okay, who dispose it, who gives the approval of disposing, all this information can be added inside the disposal task. Okay, which is you can see in the screen right now. Okay, now I can see that I have an add option here, and I can edit, I can view, I can even delete it. So means I have the full permission from here. Okay, auto generate asset is most of the time, like what happens is if it's a new company, then you don't want to create any asset number to that specific to the list of assets, so you can just auto generate the asset number for them. Okay, so means you will just put how many number of us, let's say you got 100 chairs. For that 100 chairs, I will just put 100 chairs. So, okay, sorry. So you'll just put 100 chairs. Then once you put 100 chairs, then it will auto-generate the asset number. Can I do the format? Can I change the format of that one? Yes, you can have that one in the super admin. Change the format of the asset number as per what you want. Then it will auto-generate as per that format. Okay. Now, that will be the first data that we will have in terms of the master data. So means we have the asset list, which contains all the equipments and machineries that needs to be maintained inside the software. Now we can go to the inventory, which contains all the items or inventory items that needs to be used to do our own maintenance for the equipments. Okay, so means it can have the bulb, FCU motor, so all those kind of inventory item that you are using to maintain the equipments that you have. Okay, is it an MEP? Is it a kitchen equipment? So all those kinds of equipments, machineries. So you can have all those spare parts that you are using here and how much the stock. So it's just a direct straight to the point. So you have the inventory item, you will have the stock, you will have the threshold quantity, which our software automatically detect what will be your reorder level. So it's saying like if your stock goes below the threshold quantity, our software will send you notification in terms of their dashboard, send you an email notification that there's an auto-generated purchase request because you need to purchase this specific item because it's out of stock. So all those kind of things. Okay. Same thing, we have 4-level permission, add, view, edit, and delete. So you can add in bulk, one by one, and you can view, edit, and delete the asset or the spare part if there's no history within it. Okay. So you can see the stocks, you can see the inventory item type. So you can also have. So once you already add the one of the good feature in our inventory module is what we call the multi-store. So means you can manage multi-store that you have. Maybe you have central store, branch 1 store, branch 2 store. You can have all those store and you can set how many items you have on those specific store itself. Okay. So means I have store all. Now I can see all my store. I want only rack store. I can see only in this three. For FCU motor capacitor, I have only 2 quantity. So means if I want Abu Dhabi store, I have bulb 20 pieces. So if I want all, I will see that my bulb, I have a stock of 120. So means 20 in Abu Dhabi, 100 is across different store. So you can track in different store. If you are managing multiple store, that will be easy for you using our Aladdin software. Okay. So from here, this is the basic information in terms of the spare part. More features will be there. What I'm giving you only is the critical features right now. And if you have some notes later on, you can ask it at the end of the demo. Okay. Now, as I said, this is the inventory module software. My inventory module. Then you can have also some other features in related to the inventory module, such as item issue and return, which is simply just used by your storekeeper if they want to issue a specific item for a work order. You can see in this work order, it's an emergency work order. For this, just an example, then what are the items issued? FCU fund. How many issued? 1. If I want to know what is the specific day when it was issued, I can just go inside and I will see that this specific issuance or task was given on this date, on this time, to whom it was given, what's the use of this one, and all this kind of. So it means this is only will track the in and out transaction of your spare parts. So if you have a big issue in terms of a lot of lost spare parts, a lot of misused spare parts, then you can have it here and you will see that this is given 10 pieces of bulb and they only use 2 bulbs on site. The 8 pieces they didn't return. Maybe, okay, there's some accident, maybe they lost, maybe they misplaced, and all those kind of information. Okay, so you have the supplier list also, manufacturer, purchase request, stock replenishment, and stock transfer. So means this is only the master data of supplier that you have, manufacturer or the brand of your items, the purchase request, and stock replenishment. Danny, why we have purchase request here and we don't have purchase order? As we said, we are CMMS software and we are only helping the maintenance management. As you know, most of the company already have the ERP software to do and to do their purchasing workflow. Okay, so means purchase order, purchase request, all those things is already available in the ERP software. But what if we don't have any ERP software and we are only creating the purchase order in our ERP software? So Aladdin can help the maintenance management team to do the purchase request. So what will happen is the user or the maintenance team will create the purchase request inside the software. Okay. And in the super admin account, we are setting one email or multiple emails who will receive the purchase request via email. Okay. So what it does mean, what it mean is, like, I'm the maintenance guy. I created the purchase request. So when I created the purchase request, the status will be new. Once I confirm, or in other terms is approved, if I approve it, automatically it will send an email to my procurement department that shows these are the items that we need in terms of doing maintenance. Okay, so you will see how many items that are there, what are the items that they require, without creating a double work for your maintenance team. So means create the purchase request, approve the purchase request, automatically send it to procurement team. Now procurement team will do everything in their ERP software in terms of the procurement workflow. Now, once the items that are requested has been delivered by the supplier, now the user just need to do the stock replenishment. Okay, who's the user? The storekeeper. Then the storekeeper will do stock replenishment just to increase the number of the items, or increase the number of the spare part items that are requested. So means I have my purchase request number here. I will just say, okay, I received 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spare parts. Then that's it. It will increase your stock on hand, and you will see the history. When did you receive it? Is it damaged? How many items you received on that day? How many items you received on the other day? So those kind of information. Stock transfer is just, as you know, if you are having a multi-store, you want to transfer from one store to another store, from what source to target. So those kind of things. Okay. So you can utilize your items, inventory items, and you can make sure that you can you know where it's going, you know what's the most used items that you have, and all those kind of things. Okay, now this is only the second date master data. We have the third master data, which is the personnel. The personnel, we have the subcontractor, we have the in-house. So means subcontractor is very simple. We have only the subcontractor information, which is only the email, the basic info, who's the contact person on that one, any documents related to that subcontractor. That's it. So means contact person, documents, any warranty, AMC, all these kind of things. Okay. Now we have also the in-house personnel. So subcontractors are the outsource. In-house personnel are the people that is under your labor contract. Okay. So means I can just add. I'll just view one of them. So I will have my basic information, just only what is the role. Is a crew or supervisor? Is an employee? Employee number, address, phone number, just a normal one, email address. If they have an email address to be used, because they will have the mobile application and the password. That's it. Then you can have the skills, their salary. Why do we need the salary, Danny? Because we are giving you the maintenance cost. Even though they work for 1 minute of maintenance, 2 minutes of maintenance, we need to tell you how much the total labor cost and maintenance cost of that specific work order. Okay, excuse me. Okay, then we have the third tab, which is the documents. Then what are the documents related to this specific guy? Then you can also have the shift, which will help you, like it's this small HR software, like giving you from what shift he will be, from what date to what date. So example, his morning shift from 1st of December to 15. Then night shift, he will be on 1st of March to 31st of March. January, February, from 1st of February, January to end of February, he will be morning shift again. So means you can see the shift and you can set the shift. You can see also the leave dates and where it will help me, Danny, in terms of scheduling. So means we will be showing you who's available on that day, who's available on that specific time based on the shift and his leave details. Okay, so that's it. So you can create your morning shift from what time to what time in terms of shift and leave tab. You can see at the upper right corner of this one. So means you need to set this one first. Means morning shift. Morning shift means from 8 to 5 p.m. From 8 to 5 p.m. Friday is off. So those kind of things. Okay. So as I said, this is a simple personal. So means this will be your third data master data that you need to add into the software before you can use the operation and maintenance modules, which I will be showing it to you now. Okay, so means after I add all the master data, I have already the asset, I have already the inventory, I already have the personnel who will do my maintenance. Now I can start using my operation and maintenance modules. I'll just go back to the small presentation that I showed you. So first is the operation and maintenance module. We have two parts, unplanned maintenance and planned maintenance. The first thing that I will discuss is the unplanned maintenance. The unplanned maintenance will start in the work order module. So the work order module will contain the work request and the work order. First is the work request. Okay, so first in the work request, anyone can create the work request if you've given them the permission. Okay, and the work request can be created into two application. Means you can create in the web application, you can give them the access, or you can create it only in the web from the mobile application. So means any complainant, any requester to whom you want to give to, you want to give to your tenant, you want to give to your client, you want to give it to your departments, or whoever send you a complaint or maintenance work task, you can give them the work request. Okay, so Danny, how can I view the mobile application in this one? So means it's available in two platform. Okay, you can download it from App Store and Google Store. So it's available in iOS and in Android. So first thing is the Requester app. So the Requester app, this is the one that they will download. So you can see from here, when I click this one, they will just have a login, which you will create as a super admin account and give them the user, and automatically it will send them an email because their username will be their email, and automatically send them the username and password which they can use, and they can create their own request now. Okay, so means the same flow, the same structure from web to mobile, which you will have your sidebar, you will have the detail page, you will have your information page. Okay, so how can I check the sidebar? So means you can see that three horizontal line, and if you click that one, you will see your sidebar. Okay, the first thing that you will see once you log in is your dashboard. You will see how many pending requests that you created, how many canceled, how many completed, scheduled, in progress, and closed. So means from here you can also see, and I can see how many pending, connection problem pending for condenser unit, Alchiwala building. So all this kind of information. Clicked it, and they can see more details. If it's pending means it needs an approval from the manager or maintenance coordinator and convert it to a work order. So means it's the same like purchasing. You have the purchase request, convert to a purchase order. But in maintenance world, from work request to a work order. Okay, so means from here I have pending. If it's approved and scheduled, I will see it from scheduled. Then I will see it was scheduled on what date, on what time. Then I can click. I will see, okay, it's a work request. It's okay, asset is condenser unit. I have an image history. Okay, they approve it on this date, on this time. It's completed, then it's progress again. So all the history, all the information of that specific request can be managed by the requester or the complainant. So means you don't need to give them any update via call, via email, and it will be automatically created from our software. Okay, so Danny, question, if they create a word request, can they receive also notification in terms of where? So in terms of notification for the requester, they can receive it in two ways. They will receive it from the application itself, which you can see in the upper right corner, that bell at the upper right corner, that's the notification. Then another one is an email notification. If they are using a valid email as their username, they will receive a notification, anything or any update of their request. So means if the request has been approved and scheduled, then they will see it from their email also. Okay. So now, how the first thing is how to add a request from a requester point of view. Okay. So means, let's say we'll just go to the work request module. Then you will see a plus button, and you have four options. You can scan an asset, you can record a voice message, you can take a picture, or just create a normal request. As I said, if you've done your own asset tagging, you can utilize the use of that tag and they can just scan automatically. It will tell them, okay, this is the specific equipment that needs to be maintained. If they want to, if you have any issue in terms of giving information in different languages, so you can just record the voice message, take a picture, which is the most used in terms of request. So you can just so now then, or just use a normal request, record the voice message. I will just show you. Okay, this is a sample request. Please come, I'm a VIP client and needs to be completed this one as soon as possible. Please send your team. Then stop. Automatically this will go to the word request page, which the recording message will be attached. Then I can attach also the word request type. Means tell them, okay, what is the word request type? It's AC maintenance. What is the asset? Do I know the asset? No, I don't know. Maybe I know. I'll just put condenser unit. Then I will see create word request. Then from that word request, I can see if there's some active word request that is created. So means maybe someone already, maybe the husband of the tenant already sent the request for that specific equipment. Maybe they don't know what is the asset. Is it mandatory, Danny? No, it's not mandatory. Then they can create also purchase the request priority, which as we know, it will always be critical coming from the client. Okay, so we can also add an attachment. So anything that you want. So I'll just add this attachment. Can I add multiple attachment, Danny? Yes, you can add multiple attachment if you want. So that's it. Then create. Then word request posted to the server means it's already been created. Now, let's say I'm the normal administrator. Okay, I will be getting a notification from my mobile phone if I'm using mobile phone, and I will be getting notification from the web application also. As you can see from here, I have a word request, condenser unit, main building, pending. Okay, what time? 11:56. What time I created it? 11:56. Okay, so it's live and it's, as I said, it's cloud, so you can get easily the notification. There's no delay, and the only thing that you need is internet connection. Okay, so just by clicking it, you can go to the word request, you can approve this one. You can see most of this one, most of all the attachment, the voice message, the image that they attach. They can just click this one. Danny, it's 28.2 KB only. Is it the same image that I attach? Yes, it's the same image that you attach, because we have the capability to compress it automatically with a good resolution on it. Okay, so means, is this the only way, Danny, that I can view the word request? You can go also in the word request. Then I can, this is the first one, so means it will go to the first one, and you can just click the word request number. You can see who's the one who create the word request. I can edit, I can say okay, it's approved. I can even cancel it. You need to put the reason why you canceled it, so they will be informed. So it's approved. Then I can just click save button. When I click the save button, as I said, from word request, it will automatically convert to a work order. Okay, so just okay. So okay, so first a word request convert to a work order. So means all the attachment will be also converted to the work order, so that the crew, if it's assigned, they will see it. So what will happen here? I have the work order description. I'll just stop. This is a VIP client. This is the special instruction that you can give to your crew. VIP client needs to do it as sub. Okay. So then the asset will be automatically used, or it will be automatically selected, because from it's coming from a word request. What is the work order type? I will make it as emergency. Danny, can I create my own work order type? Yes. If you want to use the word breakdown, if you want to use other terminology, you can just create it on your own. Okay. As I said, the one that I'm explaining right now is for unplanned maintenance. So you can create any work type for your unplanned, because for planned maintenance, it will be different. Okay. So can I schedule it from here? Yes. Is it mandatory to schedule it from the work order view? No. Means you have only the flexibility if you only know what time it can be available. So means I need to do it at 12:30 a.m. I give it to crew one. So crew one is the personnel. Priority, is it mandatory? No. Failure type, I don't know the failure. The guy needs to know it's high priority. Then how much time it will take for them to finish it? 3 hours. That's it. Means you can create the work request less than 2 minutes or less than a minute. You can create or generate the work order less than a minute. So means in 2 minutes you can now create a number of means for one work order. Okay. So as you know, the basic sense of applying or creating a software is to make the life of the users to be easier. Means I need to know how much time it takes to have a call with the request with the tenant to get only the request. It takes 5 minutes minimum. It takes 4 minutes to get all the information. But give them the application, let them create their own request. No need for them to track, no need for them to ask you, get an update. You don't need, as a maintenance manager, you don't need to update them every day and time that you update it, like you need this on hold because it requires purpose. All those kind of things will really save time if you apply the software. Okay, so we will not only giving you the software itself, but we will be giving you the right way to implement it. Okay, so from here, as you can see, there's the three master data that we require: asset, personnel, and inventory. If there's a required inventory item, you can add it here, or the crew will add it. Then how the crew will add it? I will show it to you. Click save. So means the work order now will be created successfully. Then we have a second mobile application, which I showed you a while ago. So means I have my requester. Now I have my Aladdin. This is the Aladdin main application that can be used by the administrator and by the crew. Means if you give them a mobile application and we detect, or the software detect that this is a crew member, so they will see this kind of dashboard. Means they have their own mobile application. Then they have the dashboard, the work order, reconciliation task if they have any. So they will see their calendar of work. They will see two colors, green one and the red one. Red one means there's a pending work order on that specific day. Okay, so means I have my January, I can view my December, I can view my February if I have any work order or PPM. So that's it. So means I'm the crew right now or the technician. On 28, I have how many? One, two, three work order. And the one that we created at 12:30 is the one. So you can see it from here. It's already scheduled. It's an emergency. It's a condenser unit in the main building. VIP client needs to do it ASAP. Then I click this. As the team, as the crew or the on-site guy, he will just read the information. He will see the attachment that we done. He can hear the voice message. Then he can add his own spare part. Maybe he needs a motor. Then let's say bulb. Okay, there's no motor in my okay. So I put bulb. So means just an example. How many items you need? I need 2 bulbs. So that's an example. Means it's an estimated quantity. Where you are getting it, maybe you're getting it from in-house store or you're getting it from a third party. Then you can have a start button from here, which automatically updated your manager if you're the crew, and it will see that there's a work order that in progress. Okay, so means I will see work order condenser unit at main building. It's in progress at 12:03. What time is it? 12:03. Now the crew doesn't need to update his manager how much time he used for that maintenance, how much when he started, what time he completed it. So he doesn't need to use, or he doesn't need to update his manager for all those information. Our software will give you the actual time of maintenance work you've done for this specific work order. Okay, so means they put it start You will see it's in progress. Now he's doing his work. Let's say it's on hold because there's a spare parts that is required. So what he will do, spare required. Just an example. Then that's it. You can put on hold button and it will be on hold status. Okay. You can just click update also so that any other information that he added, he can be done. Then you can see as a manager, you will see automatically there's a work order that is on hold. Okay. Let's say he took already the item that he required for doing the maintenance, like the bulb. He will take it from the inventory, which is the storekeeper will be giving, issue it. Then what he will do is he will again start the work order, and complete it. Let's say the job was done. Okay, so he completed it, and he will put the complaint. This is the completion form. So means maybe the tenant, maybe the maid of the one who created the request is there when supervising doing the maintenance. He can just put name of in charge doing when doing the maintenance. Maybe Mr. Danny. Then contact number Mr. Danny, just to make sure that you're really doing your job. Then please site. Then they can take their e-signature. Any remarks? Your guy is fast. Just a sample. Then update. Now you've done one of the work order, which is the completed one. You can see all the completed one will go down and all the pending will go up. Okay, in their list. So they can see it's red color because not all the work order has been completed on that day. So there will be no backlog or there will be no untracked maintenance that they are doing. So they will see, okay, this is still pending. I make it on hold last week because I still waiting for the spare parts. Now I have the spare part. I need to do it. So all the maintenance work can be tracked using the software. Now, this is for the crew. As a manager, I will see, okay, it's already completed. I want to see this completed work order. When you click the notification, you will be redirected to that specific work order. Now you will see, okay, VIP client needs to do ASAP. You have the estimated time of 1 hour, but how much actual time they use? It's only 1 minute. Okay, so you can see one. This is the active one, but you will see that you see 1 minute from here. Then there's you can see signature. Okay, I need a hard copy for this. You can click this button, which prints you the service report. You can put your logo here. It can be changed from our super admin account. You can put all this information, board request information. It will show what's the problem, what is the asset. Maybe there's a manufacturer, model number, and serial number will be here. Location, work order information will be here. The spare part that has been used, if there is any, but there's zero quantity because we didn't do the issuance. Then all the information related, the customer remarks, your guy is fast, the signature, and all those kind of things. So means he used 2 minutes from this time to this time. So we are just rounding off the minutes because sometimes there's point something and we are just rounding off. So who's that one? Crew. Any image that are attached, you can see it from here. Okay. So you can ask also your guy to do some attachment before and after the work. So they can also attach from their crew mobile application. Okay. So now this is how you handle your reactive maintenance or your unplanned maintenance, from a request to a work order to the crew completing, then printing, and all this kind of things. Okay. So the only thing that a guy or the manager or the coordinator needs to do, from completed to close, so that no one can modify it anymore. So means if I close it, you can see from my mobile application in terms of my crew. This is my crew. So means I will see the mobile application. It's already closed. I can view it, but you cannot edit this work order as it has been closed. So means there will be no start button anymore, and that's it. Now, Danny, I'm always saying this device status is online. What is the use of this? So you can see at the bottom part, at the upper part of this start button and on hold button, that there's an offline mode and online mode, because as we know, there are some places in a building or location that doesn't covered by or you will not have any data connection, or even can the internet connection is very low. So means the crew can also work offline mode, and automatically it's like a WhatsApp, it's like an other social media software that once you send a message, then once you got the connection, automatically it will send. Same thing, it will automatically sync everything that you've done in offline mode. Okay, so that's it. So means you have the online mode, you have the offline mode. All the information related to the work order will still be recorded. Okay, now as I said, that's the unplanned maintenance. How to do the unplanned one? So unplanned one, which is the PPM module, as you can see right here. So I'll just clear this notification so it will not pop up anymore. So we have two types of planned maintenance, which is what we call a preventive and predictive maintenance. Okay, preventative maintenance is for the time base, which is, as you know, that you will just want to tell the system, I want to do this maintenance every 1 month, every 2 months, every quarter. So you can do that one inside the PPM module. And the second one is what we call predictive. What is predictive? Is for the meters. As you remember, for those equipments that you set the meters, just an example for a car, you set that I want to track the running kilometers. But did you create any maintenance if you reach a specific threshold? No. That part means you will be using our PPM module if you want to automatically create, like example, changing of oil. Every time I reach 10,000 running kilometers for this car, please create this work order. So that's what we call a predictive maintenance. So where you will create it? Everything in the PPM module. Okay? So how to do it? You can, as I said, we will discuss all the modules in 4-level permission: add, view, edit, and delete. So we can add. So you can have the PM task, all this information, what are the assets. So means, let's say it's an FCU minor PPM. Sorry. Then description, just put it the same. This is a sample only. You have the task type, time base or meter base. I have my time base. I want to my booster pump tree, just an example. Generate the next PM based on the last PM completion date. More information with this, we can discuss it later on if you are curious about it. Then PM start date, when do you want to start it? I want to start it on January 1st. Frequency, I want to do it every quarter, 1 quarter. Then I want to end it on the 2021st, 31st of December 2020. Okay, then select. Is it mandatory to select a personnel? No. But if you know already who will be working on that PM, every time it's auto-generated, it will automatically allocated to that group. Okay? Then what is the checklist? FCU minor PPM. Then how many hours? 1 hour. Okay? So means now I can create 1 hour. Okay, it will take only 1 hour. They need what item? They need an FCU motor. How many pieces? One only. So that's it. Means you can create your PM task, which is a one-time job only. Means for all the equipments that you added inside the software, all the related preventative maintenance in those specific assets, you can put it inside the software, a one-time job, and it will automatically recur. Means it will automatically generated every time that is based on the frequency that you set. If you said every quarter, it will create every quarter. Okay, then I can just click save button, and that's it. FCU minor PPM, sorry, I just selected the booster pump because that's the one that I saw. Then that's it. It will automatically generated now. Danny, what if I want to manually generate it? How can I do it? How to do it manually? You can just go to the PM generated tab, because this is the one that contains all the PM work order. What I can say, PM work order is the preventative maintenance that are generated already based on the PM task. So you can see the list. There's a PM generated number. There's a PM task number. So means I can generate the PM manually, and there's another way which is automatic. Okay, that automatic every day it will check any due ppm. Okay, so means everything that's here, it's already generated and it can be assigned to any personnel. So just an example, this is generated. I don't know if it's auto generated, it was created auto generated or it's manually generated, can be done. You will see who created it. Is it by system or by a user? Okay, so from here I can just put this is assigned to crew 1. What date it is? 2801. So 11 a.m. So today at 11 a.m. Then what are the requirements that he needs? Maybe then that's it. So that's the PM generated, and how it will show in the mobile application of the crew. So where's that one? So you can see I have a meter reading on 28. Okay, so means if you want to show this one, you can see enter meter value in kilowatts. So means it's already 5,000 or 50,000. Then they will just update. That's it. That's for the meter reading. But what I'm concerned is the preventative maintenance. The preventative maintenance, I will just click for copy machine. Then monthly ppm for an AC, just an example. Then what is the difference between the view of reactive maintenance and the ppm? The ppm will have the instruction list. Okay, the instruction, you will see view instruction, they will have the checklist. Tick, tick, check the filter, check the coil, coil is damaged. Then they can put also their own. Then they can just take temperature reading, close it, then that's it. But the first thing that they need to do is to start button. Okay, all the work orders needs to be started so that the guy or the manager will be informed that there's a work order that has been started. So it's already started. So from here in the admin, they will see that there's a ppm that's already started. Okay, so from here, okay, anyway, so it will show a notification that there's a ppm that is already started. Then they can just do their own work. They will do the checklist, as I said, the one that they created, check up. Then they can just do update button if they want to update some information. Then that's it. Then let's say they already completed it, they can complete. If the completion form is required, so completion form is required to fill it up? No. Maybe you want the supervisor to sign it, it's fine. But if it's not required, you can just go back. So means you can see my preventative maintenance now is completed. Okay. So from here, I can see the ppm to show the notification. Oh, okay. I see now. So from here, the monthly ppm for AC, I think this is the one, 2019. I'll just search for the task na the PM generated. So means they can print also from here, and you will see it. Okay. So you will see what is the asset information, what is the work order information, spare part that has been used if there's any. So there's nothing, screw information, and what will be the checklist. So checklist, FCU quarterly ppm, check the filter, check the coil, remarks, coil is damaged, temperature reading is 32 degrees Celsius. So everything that they put in the mobile application, it will reflect also in the service report. So now I can go to the dashboard, or before we go to the dashboard, so I can see also from here how many work orders I can view in my scheduling feature, my calendar. So in here I have my calendar. So that this day I have on 28, I want to see day view. So from this time to this time, this is my work orders for the whole company. If I want only for specific crew, I want only for crew 2. So means crew 2, there's no hours. Then I want only for crew 1. Okay, you can see it from here. Then those kind of things. So means this is you're using your scheduling for showing what week, what month you will be available, on what times that you're available, all those kind of things. Then you can also use the scheduling feature to schedule the work. How? Just by clicking this button, schedule work order. And you can just drag and drop some work orders. Just an example, this is the VIP client, this which closed already. So meter readings, you can just drag and drop, like example like this, put it in another date, move successfully, that's it. Then I can click, I can also assign another person, save it. Then if I want to view, like example, I need an electrician. So I need to know who's available on that specific time. So you can, at the right side, you can select what is the, so electrician, you will see all your electrician and their weekly view. You can see day view. Okay, so you can have the day view of those crew. So means crew 2, crew 4, day view of 30th. So okay, they're not they're all available. Okay, so this is a sample of, so means crew 2, I will see that smart TV also will be there because I just assigned it to him. So means he was assigned from crew 1, crew 2, crew 3. Crew 3 is not here because he's not a electrician. So all those kind of things. So if you want only a specific team, I want only my mechanical team. So there's no mechanical team, so that's it. So means you can view their calendar. You can check who's available on that specific time for that specific day that you want. Then that's it. This will help you if you have a lot of ppm. It will help you if you have a lot of work order that needs to be managed. So that's it. Okay, so you can go also to now we already completed the operating and maintenance modules. So now we can go to the reporting modules, which contains the dashboard and report. So means I can have my dashboard, which contains the key performance indicator or any KPI that will help you to track all the maintenance. Then you will have also some of like how many work requests that are reported versus fixed, my work order type, how many preventative that I need to have, how many transfer of assets, inspection work order, how many completed, on hold, all this kind of things, how many backlog that I have. If I click this one, it's all dynamic KPI. So means if I click, I will be redirected to the work order module and show me what are the list of those work order. Okay, then I have my maintenance costs. I can see it from here. Danny, can I change for each admin? Can I change what are the KPI that only that they can see? Yes. You can restrict them. You can only give one user. That's an example. I want only this guy to see this KPI. Then I can give. Okay. You can see how many stock value, how many certificates that will be expired, how many meter reading that is outside the threshold. So those kind of like how you your for this month your resource utilization is 0.2%. So you can have all those kind of information. Okay, how many pending, how many open work or work requests. So you can arrange this one also as per what you want. How many unplanned? 90% of your work orders are unplanned for this month, and 10% is planned. So I want last month, you can change it to last month. So 50-50. So means total of your work order is 50% unplanned, 50% planned. So some small information that it will help you to understand what's happening in your system. If I want to know last month for all the KPIs, you can just click it from here, then last month. Okay, then that's it. That will be your dashboard. Then the last one will be the report. The report is divided into 4: work order, personnel, asset, inventory, which it will give you multiple. Just an example, personnel. I want specific information in terms of personnel, my personal utilization report. If I click this one, I will see the utilization report of my team, my then from that I can export that one to Excel. So from here, it's showing negative, but it's a sample file. So from here, I want from this date to this date, then export in Excel or PDF. It's up to you. As I said, in the report module, everything that you input should have an output. So that's it. Okay. So the last module, so we have done already. So means we have a lot. So personnel, we have in the work order, a lot of PPM summary report, just an example. So you can see from here, from what date to what date. Just an example, apply, sorry. Okay, there's no ppm for that specific equipment. You can see it's in hierarchy. So anyway, so that's why I'm saying there's a lot of report. So we have a work order report, we have asset report, inventory report. It depends on what you require. If you require a specific information for an equipment, so just go to the asset report. You will see a lot of reports. Then that's it. So now we have the last module, which is the help module, which contains only the manuals, which is if you forgot one feature, if you want to know for web user manuals, for mobile user, if you want to know for the crew how to use it, I can just click this one, and even I can download this one. Okay, so I can download it, I can give it to a user manual for mobile, so you can see it from here how to use it. So this is the mobile application, this is the one that they will see. So the same thing. Okay, so that's it. This is how this is our Aladdin basic modules. As I said, we have an advanced module that contains only the client, the personnel, subcontractor, contract management. So means you can see client. I have client info here, contact person, the properties and buildings of that client, the contract, what are the contracts for the client. So this is an advanced. So I can have my MEP services contract. I'm just showing you a glimpse of what we have in advanced module. This is not all, but this is only like a few. So you can see from here, like for one contract, I can have my contract info. What are the assets that are linked in this contract? Services, personnel, budget, work order history, item, service level agreement. Because as you can see, we have KPI also here and payout slab. So just an example, SLA. So you can have all these kind of things. Okay, so right now it's not yet used because this is a sample file only, but I'm just showing it to you. Okay, so yeah, that's it. That will be the Aladdin demo of the basic modules. As I said, we have advanced modules in terms of contract management for your client or for your subcontractor, either way. And yeah, I hope you understand more about our Aladdin modules and thinking that it will really help your company to implement your maintenance. So now we can have the question and answer portion. So is anyone have any questions in related to the Aladdin software? Then this is the time to be. You can ask like Miss Fariel, Mr. Samir. Samir is not here. Okay, thank you so much. I think there's no question. And thank you again.